Judge, we have some questions for you. These questions are from members here in the audience. And the first question is from Patty Smith from the Anderson School. Her question is, how do you plan to fund education in Philadelphia? In 90 seconds, please.
The first thing we're going to do is what I just told you. We're going to get together. That group of people, we're going to sit down with the governor, and it's an issue that is not only in Philadelphia, it is statewide. I'm going to lead a coalition with every mayor in this state to go up to the legislature, to go up with the governor, and get this funding process resolved. It is a state issue, and it is the #1 civil rights issue in our community. And if we don't take it that way, you know, separate but unequal doesn't work. And we have to do it together.
Thank you. The next question comes from George Benzanis from Central High. The question is, many teachers haven't been given their contractual raise for 3 years. So, how will you help to retain talented teachers?
The first thing we got to do is we got to put a moratorium on charter schools. The next thing we have to do is begin the operation of appropriate funding of every school. Put a wraparound program that allows all our kids to get all of their social, health, and economic issues resolved. They got to have breakfast in the morning. They got to have nutrition. They got to have health in order to be able to learn in a classroom. So we have to put that wraparound system in a way which works for every child. And thirdly, we're going to do it because we care about these children. They don't think we do. We care about these children. We get rid of the bad charters, work with the good charters. The reason for charters was to take what works and put it into the other systems so that we can learn from the charters. And now what we've done is we made charters as the solution. And so they think that teachers are bad because you got to go alter charters. You got to tell me. We don't even know where a charter is most of the times. We want to go to a neighborhood school where we can get in. In my community, I wouldn't have known the difference between a charter or other school. I just want to go to school, and I want somebody to give me a good education, and you should have the tools to get a quality education to every child in our system. And that's what I'm going to work for, because that is the most important element. Once we do that, our economy grows. Those good millennials will stay here. We'll be able to tax those young kids in Center City. We'll be able to tax the commercial community appropriately and avoid what they've done to us with AVI, which is to tax the residents instead of the business community. I'm sorry, but my time is up.
Thank you. The next question comes from Amy Roach, and she says, City Council passed a resolution about standardized testing. What role do you think standardized tests play in evaluating students and teachers? What do you think of opt-out?
Well, you know, if it was up to standardized testing, where would I be? I couldn't get through an SAT, couldn't get through an LSAT, would never pass grades. Standardized testing doesn't judge much of anything except who you taught last year based upon who you teach this year. And if you got a smart class last year and you got a dumb class this year, this is all it reflects. That's all it reflects. And if you tested me, I'm one of those dummies. And so you would get terrible results from me. Despite that fact, at 15 years old, I turned around and understood what was important. I've been catching up ever since, as you can tell. I've been catching up ever since. And because I've been catching up, I was able to work in the White House as a White House fellow. I've been able to work for 2 presidents. I was Clinton's general counsel, the first Latino to be confirmed by the US Senate. I was able to do incredible things in this city for housing, and all you have to do is go look at it. Go down Bainbridge and look at Kenny Gamble's program, MLK. Look at Raymond Rosen. I'll take you to other places. We can do it. We just got to get together in a room and agree to do it and have some leadership available that will decide, hey, this is what works. We know what works. Let's pay for it, and let's do it right. And let's stop blaming the teachers. Let's stop blaming our union leader who has been slaving trying to make sure, because you got those private sector voucher guys that all they want to do is kill our public school education.
One last question, and this question comes from Diane Payne. You have the power as mayor to raise revenue in Philadelphia. How will you do this?
Well, the easiest way is to figure out where the revenue is coming from now. If you look at the revenue, 16% of our revenue comes from where? Real estate taxes. The other portion comes from revenue taxes. That's your wages and corporate taxes. It's the only major city that has that kind of a formula. You go to New York, 34% of the taxes come from where? The real estate taxes. And where should we get that money? We should get that money where the real estate taxes should be gotten from the commercial properties. Why? Because Comcast gets an abatement, and someone gets an abatement, and all of a sudden, you are paying for the taxes that they should be, and they get all the benefits, and then they live out in Ardmore. You know, it just is not right. It's not right, and we got to call a spade and do it correctly, and I will do that because, hey, what do I got to gain? I got a lot to gain. The next generation of our kids will be the future workforce of this country. And if we don't pay now, we're going to pay later someplace else, because you can't kill a good mind. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. And God has given us the opportunity, I believe this time, to be able to utilize me to work with you to make this thing change. And I'm going to win this election, whether you think so or not. I've got a monolithic base. I've worked in every part of this city. I've come from the African American community. I understand that. And I believe that there'll be Asians, Jews, and others who understand that if we're going to survive in Philadelphia, the school's got to get fixed. And they know that I can do that.
Please join me in thanking Judge Nelson Diaz
Thank you very much.
for coming here this afternoon.
Thank you.